Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Time to Level Up podcast. Today's episode, it really interested me. I learned a ton on this episode from Jillian Leslie of MiloTreeCart. MiloTreeCart is a product that is super easy to use and helps you make money on the internet. It helps you monetize downloads or courses or mini courses or whatever you've got out there going. And it is super easy to use, as she explains. But I learned a lot about that business in this episode, but I also learned a lot about let's just try something. Let's just see what happens. Kind of that science experiment thinking that I talk about a lot with my clients. In fact, I was talking about it today with a client who was debating whether or not to kind of change how she refers to herself in her business with prospective clients. She's trying to get really good at letting them understand what she does, which is kind of complicated and not so straightforward, by playing around with different titles. I'm a blank. I'm a blank. She wants to see what resonates. That's like a science experiment. And today, Jillian and I talk a lot about science experiments, just trying things out and not getting so caught up in whether or not it works or it doesn't work. So sit back, buckle up, and listen in to my conversation with Jillian Leslie. Hey, Time to Level Up listeners. Welcome back to the podcast. I am thrilled today to have Jillian Leslie with me. And I'm going to let her, as I usually do, introduce herself. But I think here's the thing which really intrigues me about the discussion we're going to have. No matter what business that you are in, no matter what industry you are in, I know, because I talk to you all, that you are all really interested in figuring out how to create other sources of revenue, and maybe your main source of revenue, but other sources of revenue that are different from your maybe main product offering. So you're trying to monetize things. You're trying to monetize your own intellectual property. You're trying to monetize things that you've created. And Jillian is an expert on this. So we're going to talk about this and we're going to figure out how to help you make more money, right? Let's do it. All right, Jillian, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, all the things.
Okay, so hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I'm Jillian Leslie, and I call myself a serial entrepreneur. And so in 2009, I built a site with my husband. He's the technologist. We built a site called Catch My Party. And we have grown it into the largest party idea site on the web. If you are, say, a mom with young kids, you're planning a party, you go to Pinterest, I promise you will end up on my site. We give away free printables, and it's all user-generated content, meaning people are uploading. By the way, we thought it was going to be for teen girls when we started it. Our users were moms. We initially thought, we made a big mistake and we need to delete all this content. And then we thought to ourselves, hey, wait a second, maybe we're onto something. Maybe moms are our audience. So that's always been such a powerful lesson. You are co-creating with your audience, with your customers. So always be listening and always be willing to pivot. Then we built a pop-up app called MiloTree, named after our favorite tree in Hawaii. And we built it for ourselves, for Catch My Party, to grow our Pinterest followers so that we could get Pinterest traffic. And it worked. And if you go to Catch My Party right now, you'll see it pop up and it'll say something like, follow us on Pinterest. And what we did was we thought to ourselves, hey, if this works for us, we could roll this out for other bloggers and creators, people who have an online presence. And it worked for them as well. And with MiloTree, our pop-up app, you can grow your followers on TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and grow your email list. And when we set it up, our intention was this: how can we make it so easy that somebody who's not technical could use this WordPress plugin and have it working in 2 minutes? So we're not going to give you tons of things that you can tweak and stuff. No, if you're just going to install it, like let's say you want to grow Instagram, put your Instagram account in there and boom, it magically works and pulls in your Instagram posts. So that's our philosophy. So during the pandemic, we saw this other need because I was coaching a group of bloggers and online entrepreneurs, and they wanted to sell stuff. right? So they're
Like, what do they want to sell?
monetizing
Tell me, like, give me an example. What do they want to sell?
Memberships.
Okay.
Okay. So what they
Okay.
have, let's say, is a Facebook audience. They have a
Okay.
group on Facebook and it's gotten big and they know that there's money to be had there, but they
Okay.
don't know how to get at the money.
Okay.
And so I said, hey, okay, I'm pretty good with David's help. Like, I can set this up for you. You want to set up a membership? I'll figure out how to do that. And as I started putting the pieces together, I'm like, this is too hard. And I said to David, we had kind of like our come to Jesus moment of like, we can help people do this. This should not be that hard. You shouldn't have to be connecting this piece of tech to this piece of tech to this piece of tech.
I call it duct taping it together.
Yes. So we said, okay, we're going to work with these people who want to be setting up memberships to, this is very much what I'm a big fan of. I call it emergent business building. Letting it emerge. So we're working with these couple bloggers who have these communities and we're building our tech and we're saying, what do you think of this? Okay, now what else would you want? Do we get it this way? How can we make your life easier? And so we've built this tool called MiloTreeCart. And what it says, if you go to milotree.com, you'll see it. And what it says is sell digital products and services without the headache. And it says, hate technology? This is for you. And that is really like, we have struck a nerve because the truth is, even my husband, who's a technologist, hates technology, meaning it's hard for him at times too. He's pulling his hair out just like I'm pulling my hair out. He's just more confident about it than I am. Like, as women, I think we personalize it. Like, I get on calls with people all the time, and this is what women say to me. Tech hates me. Like, I hate tech. Tech is not my friend. I'm not good at it. And somehow we personalize it. And we thought, and my husband will go, no. Tech isn't good at you. Like, tech is bad. It's complicated. It's not well created. It's not user friendly. And to kind of take that personalization out so that we don't blame ourselves, but we said we could solve this. And so therefore, with MiloTreeCart, we give you can sell unlimited products, digital downloads of any kind. Like, we're going to give you unlimited storage. We're going to deliver your digital download directly to your customer. You can sell memberships with it, workshops with it, coaching with it. And we're going to get you paid. Because what you said, I loved, which is make money. Like, not even say monetize or grow your income, make money. That's what we all want to do. Like, we're not doing businesses because maybe some of us are, but like, it's not a real business. No, we want to be growing real businesses that make us real money.
Yes.
So that is our product called MiloTreeCart.
MiloTreeCart. Okay.
And we sell it right now. We're selling it right now as a lifetime deal. Buy it once and you will own it forever. And, we really just want your success is our success. That's our feeling. I believe in karma, working in the internet for this long.
Yes.
I believe what you put out, you get back.
100%. I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you. All right. So tell us, and I've got tons of questions, but give us one like success story, just so we can kind of visualize this.
I have a bunch, but I will tell you that people will come back at me and say, wait a second. So I'm going to sell a $10 ebook because I'll say, grow your digital product empire. And they're like, come on, like, you're lying. I'm selling a $10 ebook. Like, that's not going to get me rich. And I go, you're right. That's probably not going to get you rich. But what gets you rich is starting with the $10 ebook, seeing where you get traction. I call it you're mining for gold, and seeing where something connects and you start making money and you start building off of this. So a woman, food blogger, buys MiloTreeCart. She has a Facebook group. So she's a gluten-free bread maker. Gotcha. And so she's decided to put together her top recipes and see if she could sell them. And by the way, these are all recipes. I say this. These are recipes that already exist on her blog. But nobody's going to her blog to go, wait a second, I'm buying this thing that already exists for free. No, you're selling the ease that somebody gets your 10 best recipes. Okay. So she goes out to the people in her Facebook group and she sells it and it works. And she makes turns it on and makes like 5 sales. And I say to her, you've struck gold. Okay. People want what you're selling. So then she says to me, should I create another ebook? And I said, you could, But again, let's move up that ladder. How about a 1-hour paid workshop on Zoom where you teach one thing? And she goes, oh, I guess I could try it. And I said, I have all the materials for you to kind of walk you through how to do this. It's much easier than you think. And to see if that will also strike you gold, like you will find some gold. And so I say, what do people ask you about? No, she says, well, and she kind of gives me some like specific recipe that she could potentially make. And I said, no, let's talk broader. What is a broader question that people ask you? And she goes, well, they're interested in starter, but like there are a million videos on YouTube. So that wouldn't work. And I said, why don't you test it? I said, first of all, why don't you ask your group and go, hey, do you want a workshop on starter? Do you want one on cinnamon rolls? Do you whatever?
Yep.
And ultimately, she decided starter, which I think is a really good idea because that's like the broadest question. You've got like the most people who are asking this question. Yes. Lo and behold, she offers it. I said, if you get 2 people to sign up for your workshop, I don't know how much she's charging, probably $15, $20 a person.
Okay.
If you get 2 people, do it because you're going to record it on Zoom and then you can sell that recording as a mini course, as a one-off. This is like an asset for you. Mm-hmm. Lo and behold, I get an email yesterday that she sold something like 5 or 6. She just posted it and sold it. And I said, lean in more to sales, sell. And lo and behold, it's working. So that's an example of how you build your digital product empire. Where are people making the most money? Memberships, recurring revenue, coaching. Again, getting somebody to pay top dollar for your expertise. Third, workshops, so like one-off things that you can then resell as an asset. And then I would say digital downloads is something where you can make a couple $100 pretty easily. And it's a way to start building that trust factor.
Right.
Another woman, I'll just say, who's had success. She's a crafter. And she shows up once a week for an hour and crafts with people. And they pay her. And what's great about it is when you do a membership, they think they're joining for the content. And in truth, they're really joining for you and the community. And she's been able to build this amazing community of people, and they stay and they find it soothing and happy. And she's making, I don't know, $5,000 a month doing this.
For 1 hour a week? It's pretty good.
1 hour a week. She gives them a list of the craft materials. They get the recording afterwards, but very down and dirty and easy. And I think she does it all in a private Facebook group.
So cool. So is she posting, like, how do people find her link to join this thing?
She too has a big email list, I think, and has been crafting on Facebook.
Okay.
So she was putting out free content. And this is where people go, I'm putting out all this free content.
Right.
I want to get paid for this.
Okay.
And if you have that ding, 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 that is where it's time to start figuring out how to monetize that.
Gotcha. Okay. This is super interesting. So tell me courses. So that's different than a membership. That's different than a workshop. What's your thought on courses? Because I have a few clients that are doing courses.
I'm going to be a contrarian.
Tell me. I want to know.
My recommendation is do not build a course unless you have pre-sold it and gotten 5 sales.
Okay.
Because you go, I got this great idea for a course. And you go, I'm going to ask my audience, and you run it by, like, let's say your close friends or people in your audience or whatever. And they all are going to raise their hand and say, I will totally buy your course. And you go, yes, I'm onto something because I know what my audience wants from me. Yeah. I know what I know, and I can teach it to you, and you're going to want this. And I cannot tell you how many times I have talked to people who have gone off and spent 6 months working on their course, recording their videos, doing their, creating their PDFs, the whole thing, packaging it up, coming to sell it and getting 2 sales and being completely deflated and feeling like that was a big waste of my time. And the emotional pain is really hard to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I say, unless you have pre-sold it, people have taken out their credit card and said, I will buy this. Do not trust them. Do not, because it's too easy. Again, especially as women, and I'm talking on average, we feel really good, quote unquote, working on our business. I'm building a course in the background.
Yes.
And this is where I go, do it as a live paid workshop, do 3 of them, bundle them together and sell them as a mini course.
Yeah. Smaller bunch, smaller. Yeah.
My new advice. I just actually had coffee with a friend, right? I was racing back to do this recording.
Okay.
And she wants to start helping people get healthier, right?
Okay.
And actually, she has the ApoE4 gene, which is that Alzheimer's gene. Mm-hmm. So she wants to help people not be freaked out by it, but recognize it with exercise, diet, all that stuff. It's not like you're definitely going to get Alzheimer's kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very specific. So health, but like very niche. However, 25% of the population has this gene. So it's not like this is such a rare gene. And she said exactly this to me this morning. I'm working on my program and it's going to have these modules and it's going to I need to really think it through and I'm going to launch it. Okay. So we are right now in July. She goes, I was thinking I was going to launch it in September, but now I'm thinking December. And I go, no, Lauren. I said, the goal is to get close to the money. If the money is not even going to be a thought until December, you're not building a real business. A real business makes money. So I said, I'm calling it, because she's a good friend, so I could say this to her, but I'm like, I'm going to call your business a fake business. So what I recommend you do is you go find people who have this gene mutation, who want to learn more, and get them to either you coach them, you sell them your product without even building it out yet. You tell them it's built out and maybe you have one piece of it, but you learn from them. And you tell me when you start making money. So my advice, and again, and by the way, I don't know if people share this, but if like 5 to 10% of your course participants who buy your course actually finish your course, that's considered a great success.
Yes.
I think that is a bad outcome. If 100 people buy MiloTreeCart and only 5 of them use it, I don't think that's a good product.
Right.
So these are like, I'm speaking truth to power. I am saying, come on, like I am seeing this over and over again. So when people say to me, I get on calls with people a lot because I really want to learn from them and make connections. And they say to me, you know what? I'm worried because I tried selling a digital product and it didn't work. Kind of like that thing of like tech hates me. Like everybody else is having success with digital products except me. Like digital products hates me. Like they don't like, it doesn't work for me. My audience doesn't like them. I can't do this. And I go, digital products don't work for you yet. Because remember, you don't know what's going to work. Your job is to test a whole host of ideas. And this is one of the reasons why I think there's almost like this, we get mesmerized with courses. You're going to invest 6 months in a product that you don't even know has legs that people want from you.
Right.
So it is about iterating and testing and doing what I call B- work, which is above average, but it's doable.
I say that all the time. B- work that's turned in is better than A+ work that never gets turned in.
And as a recovering perfectionist, I feel this every day. It is hard. And I have a Post-it that says B- work every day.
It's so interesting. All right. So tell me about the testing piece. Like I say this too. I always say to my clients, listen, this is like a science experiment. Let's treat everything you're doing as a science experiment. Let's test it out. Let's see if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's like, that's okay. We'll just change the ingredients or the hypothesis, or we'll change some piece. Maybe our hypothesis has to change, or our variables have to change if we go back to our 6th grade science days. So how do you tell me about testing? What does that mean to you?
Okay. Testing is I say exactly what you just said. You have a hypothesis. So you have an expertise, right?
Yep.
Let's say it's architecture.
Okay.
Or, you know, and let's say you know how to remodel bathrooms.
Okay.
And so you think, okay, I see people making these mistakes over and over again.
Mhm.
So I'm going to create, instead of a course, I'm going to create an ebook on whatever it is, like super, super simple.
Do you think could it be like the top 10 mistakes that people make when remodeling bathrooms? Could it be as simple as that?
Absolutely.
And it's like
go to Canva, go make it.
Right. In Canva, it's like a 5-page downloadable thing. Could that be it?
Yeah. I might even do it shorter. It could be an opt-in where you offer it for free, or it could be, I recommend you sell it, because when somebody opens their wallet and pays for something,
even if it's just $5, right?
Exactly. They're making a bigger commitment. Now, hopefully, here's where the pieces fit together. Hopefully you have a blog. Somewhere you're getting to put out your vision of the world.
Yeah.
And hopefully you have a blog post about mistakes people make, you know, on their bathrooms, and they can get this additional information that maybe isn't in the blog post that you are selling on that blog post for $5, and you're going to sell it multiple times, meaning you're not just going to kind of hide it at the bottom. But if this is a big post for you because people find your blog through this blog post, then you want a digital product to test out, because then at the end, when somebody, let's say, potentially buys this, you're going to reach out to that customer and you're going to be like, hey, saw you got this. Are you redesigning your bathroom? And maybe sell your coaching. Maybe sell your membership. Who knows? Maybe sell your
design services.
Your design services. Like this is how it works. But nobody buys your ebook. Now, by the way, we challenged ourselves here at MiloTreeCart, and we took ChatGPT and we said, hey, how, like everyone's saying, use ChatGPT. So we're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use ChatGPT to write an ebook to teach people how to use ChatGPT to write an ebook. Super meta. And totally. But guess what? We were able to write this ebook in under 3 hours, start to finish. And we break it down exactly how we do it. And we have a 20-page ebook from it with images. We have a Canva template, the whole thing. Because if somebody wants it, reach out to me, Jillian at MiloTree.com, and I'll send you a link to it. We sell it, by the way, for $27. But this was so easy. So with ChatGPT, you have no reason to not be putting your expertise out there and testing, because you spend 3 hours on an ebook, you email it to your list, let's say, or you're hopefully doing everything, putting it in your blog post, emailing it to your list, sharing it on social media. I say going door to door, like in Facebook groups or whatever, just kind of drumming up interest. And it doesn't work. Well, guess what? I've spent 3 hours, let's say, creating it. Maybe I've spent another couple hours promoting it, and it's crickets and nothing. No problem, because chances are I've got 4 other ideas to test. And that way, every product that you're creating is not so precious. It's not like a child of yours that somehow goes out into the world and gets rejected, and then you get rejected. No, it's like you were saying, it's a science experiment.
It's a science experiment.
And over time, it's like dating.
Yeah.
You got to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet that Prince Charming or Princess Charming. Like it's exactly the same. It's a numbers game.
It totally is a numbers game. So, so you created the ebook for $27. You put it out there. How do you what's a success? Or is that all very personal? Like, how?
Oh, no. You mean like, how are we selling it? Or
how are you determining whether or not this was a successful endeavor to put this book out there for $27?
Here's the thing. I say, if you can get 3 sales, it's a success. There's something there. Because there's a big difference between people like opting into your opt-in and never reading it. Like when people pay for something, they value it more. So if you have 3 people, by the way, this is what I would do, is befriend those 3 customers and say to them, hey, I'll buy you a coffee. Give you Starbucks gift card if you get on a call with me. so that I can then ask you, okay, you wanted this ebook. Well, like, where are you in your business? I'm listening for what could I make next? And saying to them, I'm going to, like, let's say they have this great idea of another digital product that you could create. Maybe like if you are the person who's designing the bathroom, maybe you have plans, or maybe this person's like, I just don't understand the layout or something. And the guy or, whomever, she goes, hey, I'm going to sell some plans. Would you be interested? And if you would, I'll give you it at 50% off. Would you buy it? Would you buy it now? And I'll give it to you as soon as I'm done. Like, it's all about that creativity of like, it's real people being real with real people.
Yes. Yes.
I think there's something so valuable in that, not pretending that you have all the answers or you have all the things made. You go, hey, with it, so that you can call on these people when you have, let's say you start your membership and you're like, hey, you're one of my VIPs. Do you want to join my membership? Because the goal is to love on these people, to provide them so much value that they go talk to their friend who's redesigning her bathroom and say, you got to work with this person. This is where I believe in karma.
I think you're right. I believe in it too. I just recorded another podcast episode with this woman named Sarah Centrella, and we talked all about future boards, right? So she's not vision boards, but she's future boards. And there's a lot of karma in there. It's like you're thinking about it and you're wanting something to happen from it. It will happen, right? So you're putting it out there. You're putting it out there in the world and trusting and believing that good things are going to come from it.
But see, I would go a step further. I would say, I just read a tweet today and it was something, let's see, I might mangle it, but it was something like, planning without action is just wishing.
Yes. Planning, right. Planning without action is just wishing. So I think you have to plan so I always say you need you need an action plan, you need a time plan, and you need a belief plan. You can't have them in isolation. If you can just believe, but have no action tied to it or time tied to it, not going to happen. You need all three, right?
Exactly. And I'm going to add something else. Discomfort.
Oh, yes. Everything you always wanted, Jillian, is on the other side of uncomfortable.
It is so true. It is so true. And that's where I go, it's so funny. I was on this panel and we were talking about this exact same thing. And I'm saying, like, go befriend these people that are buying your product. I'm talking about like 3 people, like, go. And a woman on the panel goes, yeah, but like, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert, by the way, just so you know.
Okay. So, just check. Good to know.
But this woman's like, I'm an introvert and this is really hard for the introverts to do. And I go, you're totally right. However, there might be other ways, like maybe you could DM them and have or do it through email. Like there are ways to be in contact with somebody. However, it might be worth it, even if you are an introvert, to push yourself to get on one call and see, you're not going to die. I can promise you're not going to die. It will be incredibly uncomfortable, but these are like muscles. And this is where I think the muscle to build a course, that's like an easy muscle, even though it's hard. I'm not saying building a course, but it's not putting yourself out there. It's not getting rejected. It's not feeling awkward. It's like, I can control the world where I build my course. You can't control getting on an awkward call with somebody or pitching or selling. Those are weird. It's weird.
It's like you've got to, I say, strengthen your follow through muscle.
Oh, I like that.
I think I have a downloadable on that, Jillian. Maybe I should monetize it.
You should totally.
Yes.
Because, then money. You absolutely. And again, it's really in the beginning, it's the signal of the money.
It is.
Because it will signal you to go that way.
Right. You're right.
What else can you build off of that people want from you?
So cool. You've got me thinking.
So, in what way?
All sorts of ways.
Good.
Yes, all sorts of ways. Even in just my own business, I have tons of free content. And this is something I've thought about, but haven't taken any steps on. So here's a question. Why do you think people are not doing this? What's getting in their way of saying, yes, I want MiloCart, sign me up, I'm going for it? What do you think is getting in their way?
Fear. always. Fear of rejection, fear that it's not going to work, which is rejection, which is ultimately love. That we're inadequate, like all those deep, 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 deep fears we all have.
Yeah.
I
But really, what do you think's really big is like, but none of that's true, right?
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't mean that someone doesn't love you because no one downloaded.
But this is where I say again, if you can think of it as, say, at bats, or these are just like tests, experiments, they become less personal.
They totally
we aren't our businesses. Like, that's a really hard one. I'm not, like every month, let's say, like, here's a good example. Catch My Party. This happened the first year, happens every year. Weirdly, our traffic dies at Christmas. You would think people are throwing all these parties and what? No way. Because moms who are our users are busy. They're not planning their kid's third birthday party. Like, they want Christmas recipes. But other than that, this is not the time. And every year I get this lump in my throat, this pain in my stomach. Like, we're going out of business. I am the worst entrepreneur ever. And by the way, it's super weird. Our traffic will dip and will come back the exact same day. And it's usually January 3rd. Like clockwork. Like, people are very consistent. You can see it in our traffic. It like peaks right before, say, Halloween, because that people love our site for Halloween. Anyway, but every year I get this same feeling. Now, I know it's kind of like when you get broken up with, and the first time is so devastating, and then the second time is devastating, but you kind of know there's a part of you that's like, I got through it the first time, but I'm not sure I'm going to get through it the second time. But that fourth time, like, it still hurts. So every year I feel bad, and I have to then kind of retrain my thinking to go, this happens every year. You feel this way every year. Let's try to put a little more faith in there. Let's try and not take it so personally. And I can chip away at it. But does it hurt every year? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I think that it's about, again, going back to discomfort. And even, when I say go be uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable every freaking day. And it doesn't,
so true.
Like, it gets a little softer, but it's not like it ever goes away. But you signed up for this.
Right. You just get to strengthen that uncomfortable muscle, moving through uncomfortableness over and over again. It's like an opportunity to get stronger. It's like going to the gym.
It is like going to the gym. It is. And I think sales also is like putting yourself out there, and it is so painful. I don't know anybody. I mean, I guess there are those natural salespeople.
Yeah, but
I feel like Tony Robbins. Like, I don't know why he comes to mind. But somehow it must be easy for him. But for
maybe
90,
not.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, no one ever says to me, I'm great at sales. I love it. Like, no one says that.
No. No. And again, there are ways to reframe it for ourselves. So again, have lots of testing so that each baby does not feel as precious. Two, really leaning into this idea, it's not about you. That has been life-changing for me. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I cannot tell you how, I don't know if anybody has teens, especially a teen girl, but my daughter's super sweet. Like, she's a really good person, and yet totally self-absorbed. Totally. In the point, like, to the point where, I don't know, she'll have like a stain on her shirt or a pimple on her face, and she thinks everybody's looking at her. And I'm like, I promise you, like, I won't have noticed it. And I'm like, I promise you, nobody will notice, because everybody's so obsessed with themselves. And I believe, as a business owner, so today, talking to my friend Lauren, who's building her kind of program for people to get healthier, she kept saying to me, I think, I know, I want this to be this. And I kept saying, Lauren, take yourself out of it. You don't know what it's going to be yet. It's all about what somebody wants from you, not what you want to put onto somebody.
Yeah.
And that was like, and with my daughter, I continually say, get out of yourself. And there was something, I know, I shot something like a video or something, and I showed it to her, and I go, oh, I don't like it. And she goes, Mom, nobody's thinking about you. No. And I was like, I love it. Thank you. I go, thank you. I so needed to hear that. Like, I love when she kind of throws my wisdom right back at me when I am doing that. So if I could give everybody a piece of advice, nobody's thinking about you because we're too busy thinking about ourselves. So that's perfect for sales. Lean into it being selling is service.
Totally.
I am providing something of value for you so that your life can be better. And I'm just like somebody who's facilitating that.
Yep.
But you don't care about me. Like you care how I can help you and takes the pressure down.
It totally does. It totally does. And I was just going to say, this is a great way to wrap up because it is not about you, right? It's just not about you as the salesperson, we'll call it. It's about the service that you're putting out there. And I always say sometimes, hey, I would be remiss if I didn't offer you this because this is something I believe, or I know, I'm confident that can help you. And so me holding it in isn't helping you at all. So I would be remiss if I didn't put it out there in the world.
I think that is so powerful.
So powerful. All right. Last question. How would you define, or what do you think thinking big really means?
I think it's a lot of the themes that we've talked about. I think it's getting out of yourself and seeing how here it is. By getting out of yourself, you allow the synchronicities to happen. Whether it be you're not as caught up in yourself and you meet that person who's going to help you, whether you're get out of yourself and an idea hits you or somebody says something that you wouldn't have necessarily thought about because you were so focused on you that all of a sudden, like, that's a good idea. So I believe get out of yourself so that you can open yourself to get bigger.
I love it. Get out of your own way.
Get out of your own way.
Start testing things. Okay. This has been awesome. Where can they find you, Jillian? You've already mentioned your website, 2 websites, actually.
My podcast.
Yes.
The Blogger Genius podcast. So I say a lot of things that get people mad because I feel like I'm speaking truth to power here and I'm going to, call BS when I see it.
Oh, you're like me.
So definitely the blogger. Yeah. I think that people, there's like that kind of gauzy business building that I'm not a fan of. I'm all about go do this and go do this and go try this and make it messy. So Blogger Genius podcast is my podcast, which I've been doing for 5 years. And you're going to be a guest. Also, you can check out MiloTreeCart by going to either MiloTree.com, MiloTreeCart.com, whatever. You can find me on the socials everywhere, MiloTree, and email me. I answer everything, or DM me on Instagram, but email me Jillian@MiloTree.com. I love answering questions.
Well, all that is going to be all those links are going to be in the show notes. Jillian, this has been so fun. Like, you've really gotten me excited. I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here. And listeners, I know so many of you have thought about something like this, doing something like this, making money in a different way. And I hope that this is just the boost you need and the tool you need to make it happen. So see you next time. So didn't you find that interesting? Doesn't it make you want to think about, what could I put out there on the internet and potentially make money while I sleep kind of thing? I know my brain was buzzing after that conversation. And I just loved how she kind of gives it the approach of like, why not try this? We got nothing to lose. Let's see what people are interested in. Let's see how I can tweak this. Let's see how I can serve humanity. Right? Isn't that a great attitude? And thinking big in this realm, I mean, you could go really big. You could think really big. And just the premise of how she and her husband developed their businesses, that was thinking big. So if you have not gotten your hands on a copy of She Thinks Big, the entrepreneurial woman's guide to moving past the messy middle and into the extraordinary, it's about time. So make sure that you head over to shethinksbigthebook.com to get your copy. And Jillian, even though she had not read my book at the time of this recording, she kind of followed the formula. She shifted her mindset. She made a plan. She executed on it. And as she's found success, she's continued to adjust and grow. That's what it's all about. So go figure out what you can make money on the internet using a product like MiloCart. Let's do this. Because now, my friends, is the time to level up. If it's not now, when? Let's do it. See you next week.